before. Over on Banjo Quest, we're working on a beautiful version of Ducks on the Mill Pond, and often that tune is associated with the famous Galax Lick. Folks tend to struggle with this technique, and today I'm going to break it down in 4 easy steps. Welcome to Banjo Quest. Now, before we get started, I have to mention that over on Banjo Quest proper, I have tablature for this lesson plus many, many others, including a huge lesson on how to play Ducks on the Mill Pond beautifully in your own way with lots and lots of variations. If you want in on that and the upcoming Banjo Bootcamp, hop on over to Banjo Quest. The link is in the description below. All right, we are tuned to D today, and I want to first define what the Galax Lick is. And then I'm going to teach you how to do it in 4 easy steps. First things first, the most common version of the Galax Lick is an 8th note triplet, which is a group of 3 notes kind of compressed into the space of 2 8th notes. So that is a triplet followed by a quarter note, and it sounds like this. Triple-a-da. And without me vocalizing it, what the Galax Lick does is it inverts the clawhammer stroke and puts the 5th string on the downbeat, which is quite unusual for clawhammer, and there are lots of reasons why you would want this, one of them being that it is incredibly beautiful. It also makes it really easy to get that high, in this case A, on the downbeat of a measure. So it's a great way to get that A on a downbeat without having to break position and head on up to the 5th fret. All right, so grab your banjo and get into double D tuning with your index finger on the 2nd fret 1st string. We're going to keep that finger there throughout this entire lesson. So once you get into this configuration here, I'm going to take you through the 4 steps to complete the Galax Lick. The first step is we are going to do a vanilla downstroke on the open 3rd string. So get used to doing that. And make sure that thumb is landing on the 5th string, simultaneous to that downstroke. And we're going to freeze. That's step 1. Step 2 is to take this frozen position, thumb is still on the 5th string, and push through the 2nd open string. So let's back up and do steps 1 and 2 together. Normal everyday throw into the open 3rd string. And push. Push without lifting that thumb. Do it in rapid succession. You can even say trippa, because we're going to say triplet here in a minute. Trippa. The 3rd step is to complete the push through that 1st string. Again, vanilla downstroke on the open 3rd string. Leave the thumb down. 2nd step, 3rd step, and let's do it again. Triplet. And there's one more step we have to do, and that is to thumb that 5th string on an upstroke. Again, let's start all the way back at the beginning. Step 1, step 2, push, push again, and now peel off for the 5th string. Put that all together for a tripleta. And we can do many in succession. Of course, we want to be able to speed that up. One of the things to be aware of is we don't want this to devolve into a brush stroke. So you want to hear that clear triplet. We don't want a brush, we need an arpeggio. So if it's starting to sound like this, that's not a Galax lick. That's a brush stroke followed by a fifth string quarter note. So we want that triplet, triplet-da. And one of the ways I get that is I add structure or tension to my striking finger. Just a little bit helps me push, push, push through the triplet on those strings. And it helps me resist the strings so I don't sort of slip through the strings too fast. One of the hard parts of doing the Galax lick well is it's easy to slip through the strings. Add a little tension to your striking finger and resist the slip. And you should get a nice arpeggio. All right, one of the hard parts of the Galax lick is knowing when and how to fit it into a tune. So there are some simple rules that you can think about. The triplet part of the Galax lick is the equivalent of 2 eighth notes. Yes, we're fitting 3 notes into that space, but it's still in the grid, in the clawhammer grid. It's still the equivalent of an 8th note pair. So anywhere that 8th note pair can fit, you can fit the lead up to the Galax lick. And that allows you, knowing that allows you to get pretty creative. Traditionally speaking, the Galax lick often starts on the 4 of the previous measure. So that triplet, you start on the downbeat of the 4th beat of the previous measure. 1, 2, 3, triplet, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 1, 2, 3. Now that technique is fanning the 5th string. So make sure that that hand freezes after the triplet. We don't do a big upstroke. And we just activate the thumb accurately on the downbeat of the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now in Ducks on the Mill Pond, these Galax licks are often paired back to back. Sounds like this. Still, that triplet is starting on the 4 of the preceding measure, starting on the pickup note. 1, 2, 3. And that's what we're going to be playing over on Patreon. I'm going to tab that all out for you so you can see how that works. The entirety of Ducks on the Mill Pond with lots of beautiful variations. If you want in on that, hop on over, and I will see you next time on Banjo Quest.